video stub about the Heathkit manual guy from 1947 through 1992. If anybody's not aware of it, the Poindexter and or button-up collar style nerd image that is so prevalent in American society and maybe even internationally about people who are geeks or fixated on some technical subject and get really good at it and eventually end up being Bill Gates. This meme about it was perpetuated strongly by people attempting to fit into society and look like a grown-up when they were 17 and 18 or younger as being the standard of being a respectable citizen in the United States. This 1940s, 1950s technicolor rainbow of poserism, you might call it, that was so prevalent, spawned this image of a person who is usually not really heavily athletic, maybe skinny, maybe be able to do track and field, with a specific type of haircut parted to one side, not needing glasses, which was also part of the stereotype, by the way, not being particularly athletic, being bookish, and wearing button-up collars, or in my case, Western-style shirts. And, I have a relative that walked around in a cowboy outfit with a slide rule holster because they made a holster for a slide rule. Those of you who don't know how hilarious that would be and how in-joke that would be, you just don't get it, and that's cool. I also have a relative, I'm not naming names, if he's watching this, he'll know it, who is the absolute spitting image of the Heathkit manual guy. So what's the Heathkit manual guy? On the front of the Heathkit manual, a manual for making a project in electronics, that was an overpriced project. It was a training system called Heathkit, made by a guy named Heath, I guess. The point is, for years, from 1947, just after the Second World War, forward, this was a guy who got surplus from the military and eventually started making kits so you could duplicate it, including making your own oscilloscope. This is a rite of passage for computer geeks and electronic geeks in the past, getting a Heathkit and building an 8-bit computer, or building your own oscilloscope, function generator, or in the case of the room I'm in, every single piece of technical equipment is a Heathkit. Because they were based on reverse engineering the shit that was seen on a battleship. Now you get the idea. Yeah, post-World War II, surplus stores. Oh, it's broken equipment. Well, here's one that's working. Let's compare them. I'll get out a meter and test all the parts. Oh, it's kind of working, but some of the parts aren't perfect. I'll desolder each part and make a duplicate that's perfect. Later on, oh, these capacitors are better than these. I'll use the good capacitors. By the way, if you're not aware of it, that bit us on the ass in the computer industry during the dot-com plunge, and also 2 years ago. It's always the capacitors. Just reflow every solder connection and replace every capacitor, and then we'll see if there's anything wrong afterwards. It's amazing how often that works. No, really. I've earned a good living having a box full of brand new capacitors on little paper tape ready to go. And that was literally on one of the manual pages for repairing a battleship radar system. That was basically an over-designed oscilloscope. And big. And it was a kit you could get from Heathkit. No, I'm not kidding. So that's the standpoint I come from. If you're not aware of the Heathkit guy on the manual, here's the question. 4 minutes. Who was the model for that? I have never found that out. If anybody knows, please tell me. It might have had an image credit at one time. Someone might have investigated it. But this is from actually 1970s forward. I can see manuals like that. It's amazing that, that's welcome to my channel where you get questions and hopefully answers for things nobody ever fucking asked. Who asked you with Waptec? This is one of those examples. So if anybody's ever investigated the Heathkit manual guy, which is a black and white image done with not halftone but full tone mode, some of you might know about that, quinkadinkly, how you optically change a picture into something you can etch into copper to make a circuit board. That's a thing. Ferric chloride. I had stained hands at one time too. Vintage replacement manuals shop heathkit.com page exists. And there's a specific page that shows a good example of it. And also I have a YouTube video talking about Heathkits. So why am I doing this video? I'm going to include an imager below to 2 cleaned up images from 1947 to 1992. I don't know what year Heathkit manuals. And that's the one I grew up with, along with the picture of the item you were building on the little manual. There's a copy in the room. Okay, I'm lying. There's 20 copies in the room here. Yes, I'm staying with my relative. And yes, I swear to God, he was the model for it when he was a kid. And everybody else was. This was the everyman who wants to learn electronics. The everyman who wants to get into the electronics industry. Or just know what they're working on when they turn the dial on their TV set. Yes, there was a kit to build a full TV. It's not in the other room. That one actually got sold years ago. But there is still the radio, the stereo, the universal time clock, not the time cube. We don't do the time cube. It's the full thing. And there's a manual in here from the patent for one of the items in the place that isn't a Heathkit, but was possibly offered by one, or could have been, and I'm related to the person who patented that clock. That's a big clue for those of you who are geeks. You might have seen this. It was dumped as a project at one point. And yes, the author lives in the building, and that patent holder has tried to improve it to make a new patent with using modern parts. And it's still literally a TTL style logic timer system. It's literally it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck.